Hey kids, you like that rock and roll?
Don't worry, don't be afraid, ever. This is just a ride.
On the program this evening,
Four Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Four Bros Podcast. Wee bit of a different setting today. We're in Belfast Baps.
Yep.
And I'm sure you've heard of the headlines. So today joining us is Mark Young.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, mate. Here he is.
Thank you for having us up, buddy.
Not a problem. It's always a pleasure to have the four brothers.
You.
Cheers.
Likewise.
Thanks. So you've been in the headlines recently. Do you want to start off with that there?
It's the most prevalent thing. So yes, we have been in the headlines recently, which has amazed me that a breakfast shop's post has dominated national news for a week.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But
just shows you where we
That's
are.
where we're at. Like.
we will certainly take the advertisement.
Yeah. He's been in the headlines, if you haven't seen, for me and my fat brethren. He's been putting us down, and it's just not on, Mark.
Let me just point out
It's not right.
I'm a former fat brethren myself, so like, I'm more than aware that it is also, like, as much as it's self-induced, it's also a self-remedy too. It's just a matter of making a decision.
And like the stupidest thing that they were doing to your post was, like, and they always do this. Like, everybody does it. Doesn't matter if you're left or right. They'll always try and take it and make their agenda. And what they tried to say about your post is that you're making fun of disabled people. Which
it's called a straw man argument, and it's a typical thing to shut down a debate. They take what you said and they attach a different agenda to it. Yeah. And they try and tar you with that brush. So we've had people coming at us who clearly haven't even read the post.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying, like blind people wouldn't be welcome, or like,
what?
I mean, sorry, what?
I know. How do you get from
blind fat people now?
I mean, fatties are more than welcome.
Yeah,
we love the fatties. You know, I mean, I'm a Haribo Keen myself.
I know. The thing what people think is that you put out hate there. All you did was put out an opinion.
Yeah, an observation.
It wasn't like you were going, you don't deserve to live, or you don't deserve to be anybody if you're fat. You're making an observation going, don't be a fat cunt.
I will certainly take one thing on the chin, that like my delivery most certainly could have been like maybe politer and a lot less obtuse, but I'm obtuse, so
at the end of the day, you don't
that way.
Like, it's not as if you're like, there's that controversy. Your man Garron Noone, did you see him?
I think it's terrible.
He's back though.
He's back.
He's back.
Shout out to the man Garron. I've literally wasted hours of my life watching that delicious beast. Talking about absolute nonsense. And
Follow him. He's delicious.
He addressed a very controversial situation
in such a way,
articulate way, without even giving his opinion.
It was very loose. Like, it was very loose.
What
like
it
what he
showed
said.
there was, it showed that people
hell.
just need a green light to be offended, and the dogs are set on people. There's not a nicer personality on social media than that guy, and a less controversial person than
exactly. He never says anything.
And he literally, because he'd been hounded in his comments to give an opinion, he didn't give an opinion and addressed the situation, saying to give an opinion that he would have to give, 25 minutes to explain the context, a further 45 minutes to explain whatever. He was very, very articulate in his response.
And vague enough to try not to piss off anybody. And he, but they took it anyway.
What it just shows is there's people waiting around to be offended, and offence these days is clearly a currency. Yeah. And the more you can be offended.
But that's what I was going to say, like, the thing about your post is you don't owe anybody a explanation, really. I mean, you're not Garron Noone. You don't have millions of followers. Garron Noone maybe should word himself a wee bit more, because he based himself. He doesn't have to, I suppose. Like, but he does have a following that is very diverse, and
need to be careful.
For his career, he should maybe articulate himself a wee bit better.
And I think
he doesn't have to, but
what you're saying is exactly what he did do.
I agree.
He was still hounded within an inch of his life. So the reason why I doubled down on all this stuff and have trolled the clean life out of it is because I understand that apologising and retracting stuff makes no difference.
Get you nowhere,
because
look.
No.
Haters going to hate.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to look like a prick on top of it anyway. So like,
Well, I mean, you based it all on humor and jokes.
Yeah.
And if anybody want to take that seriously, that's up to them, you know. And that's our whole podcast is based on. We talk a whole load of bullshit, and if you take any of it seriously, that the joke's on you. You know?
Joke is on you.
Of course, and like Ricky Gervais said it best, like offence is taken, not given. So if you're offended, that's entirely on you.
Great.
100%.
You can choose to move along, change the channel, not buy from my shop, not support anything that I do.
And that's their opinion, and
that's entirely
that's brilliant that they
freedom
can.
of choice.
And that's fine. That's
And it's
yeah.
also entirely, whenever I was contacted by a newspaper last week, they asked me about the backlash and how it's affected me. I mean, I am fully of the opinion that if, freedom is the freedom to also slag the bollocks out of me.
That's it. Freedom of
If
speech.
you want to threaten me or whatever, that's entirely fine.
Yep.
Like,
That's your
Well,
life.
life,
Well,
that's
fuck the
great.
threats.
I think,
like,
within reason
have
though as well, because I
have an
think-
opinion, but fuck the threats.
Yeah, like
like,
you can react, but within reason, isn't it? Because what you said or did, or your whatever your opinion made people react.
yeah, but you
can't
are reasonable.
threaten you fucking
These are reasonable.
threaten your
guys.
life, like.
That's, so like obviously, like you're going to think that you can react within reason. Some people don't have reason.
That's true, like.
They're like the barometer is going from normal to
100.
burn them
extremely.
out, cancel them. This person does not deserve a platform of any kind.
Yeah.
Because their opinion differs from mine. Yet the same people will cry for inclusivity.
Yeah, that's where we need to get to. Like it's the contradiction. It's you can say something they don't agree with, whoever doesn't agree with, and that's it.
Yeah. Like I'm happy to still be friends with people with a completely different ideology. I mean, it's fine if you're reasonable about it and are willing to discuss shit.
And
with
we
me,
have
you know?
many friends, left and right, right leaning or left leaning, that are good people, and they have common sense, and because we would class ourselves very like in the middle.
I think in reality we've all been played like a proper kipper here, guys. Like the fact that we discuss things in the terms of left and right and center.
That's all a game. Like,
That's why we don't lean anywhere. We're
When did that come
has been
about?
set up to
Been there for a while,
make you
like.
believe
I know.
you have choice. It's two separate heads of the same dragon.
Yeah, 100%
whether
it's
you
the same
vote
game,
left
like.
or whether you vote right. It's still us and them.
Yep.
And they're dividing us amongst every possible line. May it be race, may it be religion, may it be disability, may it be whatever. And it's working, and we're all feeding into it. And this is a perfect example of it. And everybody just buys into the current thing.
Yeah.
And it's a sad situation.
Without looking
it's
into
like
much,
hive mind.
It'll get worse. It'll get
okay.
worse. Like,
well, hopefully we're getting somewhere.
I think
you know
it
what I
will.
mean? Because
The pendulum does seem to be swinging in the other direction. The support that we have received in the last week, a couple of days,
and
as a shop has been unbelievable. And
in synchronicity, this Garron Noone thing at the same time, the support that he's been shown from people with common sense. There's always the minority on each side that won't agree, and that's fine.
and probably the people that are fucking being dicks wouldn't come here anyway.
Yeah.
No,
They're just looking for something to say online.
hide behind your screens and be cards and
it's like the very focal minority seem to get the what you'd say, like the focus of the mainstream media, and to me that would suggest that there is an overall narrative in mainstream media and like overall mainstream that's being trying to be pushed on society.
so it's like a brainwash.
Like we all have to think a certain way, and we can't have our own opinions, and independent thought is bad, but guess what, guys, independent thought and creativity is what's created the Western world. And, if you suppress that,
And as long as you're not harming anybody else, have whatever ideas you want, A simple way to...
opinions,
exactly.
And since when did words hurt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I really liked, I went to a baker every day, and I liked the cakes that he made, but he really fucking hated black people. I would still eat his cakes and enjoy them. I would still go
White only
eat his
cakes.
White only cakes. Makes it even better.
How much you going to take?
I would sacrifice a family member for a tasty cake. To
You know what I mean? Like, so,
and that's, I mean, the joke of the whole, like, fat shaming thing as well. Like, yeah, it was an observation about fat people who vet themselves into, like, immobility or disability. But, like, I eat like a pig, but it's a balanced lifestyle, you know. Like, my output is more than my input.
Yeah.
In terms of calories, it's a very easy.
Like, I know people are
it is,
saying
it's quite easy, isn't it? Like,
there's I don't even know how to explain it. Like, there's people in mobility scooters that maybe can't change, but or that can't help it, but those aren't the people you're talking about anyway, you know.
yeah.
Those who are in a disability scooter due to a genuine disability or genuine medical condition, that's not like I ate too many Haribo.
Yeah.
I have all the sympathy in the world for
And you
them.
know
I
what,
don't think
though?
that should even need to be said.
And,
though,
and to be
because
honest,
we
like,
get, you know.
not even sympathy, because like, you know, they're equal to me. They're not to be pitied. It's not a sympathy. It makes me grateful for being able-bodied, and like I appreciate the struggle that they have.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know what? You can still make fun of them.
yeah,
You can.
Well, that, I think, you know, and it's the
Why
same.
not,
Like
you know?
the Sunday Life brought up a previous post that I made, a joke about why can't two Chinese people make a white child, and the punchline was two Wongs don't make a white.
Yeah.
Now, to me,
funny.
that is like one of the best jokes ever, because, like, you know, a joke humor fucking. But like,
joke's a
that's
joke, you know what I mean?
considered racist now.
I know.
Jokes
Like,
are
what
jokes.
the actual fuck is
Jokes
going
are
on in the
jokes.
world?
Like, you know, it's
And
people
then,
are
like,
putting too much weight behind
it's
it.
makes me sad.
I think context is
sad,
never
man.
looked at. So obviously that's a joke, and then you could obviously say something hurtful to a Chinese person, and that wouldn't be okay.
So-
but no one will look at the context. It's
I
a
think,
joke.
I think the first thing to say is that someone could be offended. Like, you're allowed to be offended by that joke if you want to
100%,
be.
of
But
course.
you know, the whole
100%.
world is offensive. There's plenty of offensive things out there, and you need to be. If you want to be out in the world, you got to take it. Like, you know, you just got to take some of it.
That's it.
You have to
Just
roll
gotta
with
take it in the
punches.
ass, man. Just gotta take it.
That's it.
You have to roll with the punches, and like equally as I want the freedom to say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Fuck it.
People have
Which is very important.
to react
Very important.
however they want to react. But when those reactions turn into, you know, wishing harm upon family members.
Yeah.
One post in particular saying, I am overweight with multiple sclerosis, so clearly I wasn't like referring to them in the first place anyway. And it like continued on down to say like how nasty I was, and then ended with, I hope you and your entire family get autoimmune diseases and end up in mobility scooters, so you know how it feels.
Jesus.
Who's the nasty person in that situation, really?
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate your struggle with multiple sclerosis, but I didn't wish harm upon anyone. I did an observation.
It's just the humor, man.
Put some
People need a sense of
put
humor,
some
like.
time into that comment. Like,
Like, I mean,
I've just laughed.
that
That'd be
was
funny
dark.
to me.
Like, you know,
That'd be
when I
funny.
read that, it was pretty dark to me. It's like,
That'd be so dark. I would laugh. I'd be
you're
like,
sitting
that's
in your
funny.
house
Laugh at that,
wishing that my family members get multiple sclerosis and end up with mobility issues. That's deep.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's pretty fucking deep.
Sick, like,
Yeah, like,
It's yeah, but I think like
that's too much. Like,
I'll
it's
keep
too
going
far.
back.
That's what I mean. That's unreasonable.
I keep
You know
going
what I
back to the Garron Noone thing, like, but the vast majority of the fucking country and the world does have common sense and does recognise a joke, and you know the context, and that's just
you think
you're
so?
always going to get because
Not
the
that
loudest
that matters,
the
though.
loudest people are
Because-
always going to be the people
Yeah.
that disagree with you. Like they're always going to be the only ones you really see and hear.
I
and that's
think
just the
we
way it is.
found out a sort of a litmus test over the last week that the vast majority of people still do have common sense. They just feel that the
They can't say
ability
anything about
to like express that has been suppressed because everything around the mainstream media, magazines, you know, like the talk on the street is whatever, and they can't just think normal things like a man and woman should have children and be married or whatever. Like that's a controversial thought these days, you know. Like everything is controversial that used to be just normal.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy into that shit.
Yeah, and that's your right, you know. And It's and
Much as it is theirs.
and much as theirs to not want to do that, you know, and that's a beautiful world we live in. Beautiful, privileged country to actually be able to express those ideas and, you know, still survive.
Do that in Russia, like
We're living in the perfect
me.
time though, where the expression of, like, you know, hard men create good times.
Easy times.
Oh, yes. that
Or
one
soft
is-
times or something. Soft men
Good
create.
times create soft men create problems, and we're now like living in the result of that. Thanks to the boomers.
Well, like the sad
Thank you,
reality.
boomers.
Okay,
And the thing
boomer.
is,
Shout
like,
out boomers.
Yeah.
like brainwash is kind of getting a bit better within, you know, media and stuff, you know. So the new generation of people maybe aren't really on track with a lot of.
No, I
you
think
know,
it's also given a lot of ammunition to everybody, though. Everybody's got the
Platform.
to go and search. You don't have to just go like in the 90s. You've got the one news source.
Yeah.
Now you go 20 different news sources and you pick
And that's what you have
whichever
to do, though.
you really agree with.
You have to go. You can't
Yeah,
just
I
listen to one
suppose.
person and be like, "Oh, that's what happened." Like, you have to literally go 10 different places to see.
And
if
that's
to
why
see if
there's
it correlates,
that's
you know
why
what I
there's so much conflict in ideas and stuff, because there's too much choice. We've all got a choice to
It's
believe what we
having
want to believe.
Discernment, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you look at the source from where the information's coming from, and then some people get locked into what's called an echo chamber, where they seek out information to, like, you know, back up their predisposed idea.
Yeah.
And like they'll never entertain ideas outside of that.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I think it's healthy to, like, challenge yourself with opposing ideas, like things that you're uncomfortable
Yeah,
with.
100%.
That your
Definitely.
Yeah.
theories are your ideas,
Yeah.
or stand up to practice. You
And
know?
that's the only way to figure out if you're correct or not.
Yeah.
You can never, you know what I
pretty
mean?
much.
And I think a lot of people don't even realize they're doing what you said, you know, when they're like, they're only going to sources that back up what they want to believe. They don't even realize it in real time that they're doing it. You know, a lot of the time.
No.
They're just in it.
But I think, like, the onus of guilt does not lie upon, like, the people as such. Like, I'm lucky because, like, I'm from a generation prior to all this, like, influx of social media and living like a secondary fake life online. And remember a time where, like, you had to phone your mate on a landline telephone,
It was simpler back then, wasn't it?
or you knew who your mates were because there was 4 bicycles lying outside the fucking
Aye.
gate or whatever.
The fear of talking to them.
You know,
Is Johnny there?
Whereas now, like, people are afraid to phone for a Chinese takeaway. So, like,
Yeah, I do
in
get
a lot
that.
of ways,
I do.
you know,
Like I me and my partner would fight who's ringing the Chinese. It always ends up being me. Like,
No, I
you
ring
ring
it.
You go to the door.
I don't like
You go to the door.
Who the Chinese ring?
Oh, so it's Chinese.
fuck, Chinese.
Fuck, catch down the call. I'll just.
I don't like going to the door.
how do I just go and put that on
Of course,
silent?
No, it's fine. It probably hasn't even picked up the microphone.
You deliver to us now.
Oh shit! The internet. You know, like that's what started this. Like, you know, the people being offended. You know, people saying things here or there. You know, the far right, the far left, the middle. Even, you know, it's all because of the internet's birth. You know what I mean? It's without that.
It's good and bad. Like,
It is good and bad, you know. It's a curse and a
Lesson.
gift, you know what I mean, or a lesson, yeah. But
Well, yeah, I mean, like obviously there's good and bad in most things. There's duality in life, and
Yeah.
like we have seen this week as well, or sorry, last week, from obviously like the influx of hatred or whatever, but the support has been overwhelming, and that's why like. It gives me a wee bit of hope that I know that most people still operate under, like, common sense and like, normality, but they're just in a position where they just don't feel able to fully express that because society has been such a certain way for such a long time, where you don't say anything because somebody may get offended.
yeah.
I know.
Oh
Yeah.
God, like,
perish the fall.
Literally can't say shit anymore. Like,
it's a fucking ridiculous.
good 70% of funny shit is not allowed to be funny anymore. You know?
Well, I mean, take comedy as a perfect example. I mean, how many comedians these days have been, like, attempted to be shut down or cancelled because they have made a, like, what it may be considered a racist joke, a sexist joke, a xenophobic joke, a homophobic joke.
But
like all these fucking buzzwords.
Yeah.
Like, you know, basically the definition now in the dictionary of a Nazi should be somebody who disagrees with a left-wing talking point.
Yeah, I get you.
Seems to be it.
Going to the comedy side of things, I think you just have to be good. And yes, there's still some really good comedians out there that are saying controversial things because it's comedy. That still will get
he's hilarious. Like,
try to be cancelled, I suppose. But
it's your response to the cancellation.
Yeah,
100%.
Like Shane Gillis was doing some things ages ago about Chinese people, and then he got cancelled. He was in SNL. And for like a day or something, and then he threw off it.
Exactly.
But like the thing about him is, like, he called people up and people called him up that were in similar situations, and they just said, "Don't apologize," because you're apologizing to the people that don't give a fuck.
They're not looking for apologies. They're looking for your head on a stake.
Yeah,
and that is the sad part of it. Yeah. Like Cat Williams, another example of a comedian who has throughout history been, tried to be cancelled because he's, like, for many years exposed Hollywood's ills that we now all can see that are laid out on, on the news. Like what was conspiracy theory like 10 years ago now is just common sense.
Fact of the matter.
But like, if we build our fan base right, be in a certain way, talking shite and not holding back on because what we think's funny is funny to us, and it may be controversial to other people, and then like a year or two down the line we've got so many followers and one follower just happens to see it one day and is offended by something, and we apologise to that one person, then the rest of them are going to be like, you lose your whole fucking audience. You know what I mean?
That's as soon as it's all.
And it's just as easy as, like, I think you said earlier, like, just unfollow us then, that's fine. Just don't watch it. Like, go ahead. Go ahead.
If
do
it
something
bothers
else.
you,
Read a different book.
If it bothers you,
I mean, this is the most fucked up shit podcast anyway. And if you're watching it, there is something wrong with you.
Yeah, you have something wrong with your fucking head, guys.
Trust me, I've seen their faces.
That's why I wear these
some
masks.
pretty fucked up shit. The balaclavas are most definitely required.
We're from Mars. We're not actually human.
Or Lauren. Either Mars or Lauren, but definitely not off this planet.
So it's easy to confuse them.
I think the overall riding point, guys, is like the world seems to have lost its sense of humour, and like a lot of things trigger me in life. Like that's like the ongoing joke amongst the people that know me. Like everything triggers me, but like I get annoyed in a funny way. I'm not out there trying to like kill somebody because
or ruin their life.
If someone wants to live a certain way, you may go, "Oh, it doesn't really appeal to me," and you'd probably make a joke about it in your own time. But it's like, you're not going to go out of their way to try and ruin their lives. Like, moving on, I want to talk about Stephen Nolan coming here.
I know.
I'm surprised he fit through the door.
I really want to know that story, like, in detail of what happened. Like,
obviously that whole thing unfolded about the mobility scooters and fatties, and Fatty's producer had phoned me like 45 minutes prior to him arriving, and I said I had no interest in speaking to him, but not only because he was like 2 stone off a mobility scooter himself, but he turns everything into green and orange in this country. He is like the cause of division, which we were talking about previously. He's the arbitrator of division in this country, and also, like, I can't take away from the fact that he chased some poor man around a forecourt during the COVID because he wasn't wearing a mask and tried to shame him, and then was also caught in the shop a few weeks later without a mask himself. So we don't like hypocrites.
No.
Fuck me, like, what a wagger.
and what did he say when he walked through the door then? Like, did he just come on in, or like?
Oh, he came in all jolly. Oh, I'm looking to speak to Mark, and I was standing prepping mushrooms, I think, at the time, and I was like, well, I don't really want to speak to you because you're nothing but a COVID chaser. And he says, I believe you told my producer I was 2 stone off being on a mobility scooter. And I says, well, like, look at you, mate. And then he continued to try and say, have you not got a few words to say? And then, like, 2 to 3 minutes into talking, he revealed that he was secretly recording me. So obviously, like, GDPR breach that people are trying to do me for whatever, posting a CCTV footage. But I said to him, Stephen, if you don't leave the shop, I'll physically remove you. And he still tried to talk away and all the rest. And then I came out onto the counter and he moved very quickly. Unfortunately, our door is very slow shutting due to the mechanism on it, because it stays open during the summer, or I would have also slammed it in his face. So it was very unfortunate. You know, it started out with great force. I was like, you bastard.
Fucking amazing. That's hilarious.
But like, that was the turning of the tide of public opinion, really.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
No, he got
And did he
everybody to
release
decide.
footage
Don't imagine
of
so,
you
like,
when he
fuck
came
me.
in here that he recorded?
No, so I released the CCTV footage about 5 minutes after he left, saying when Nolan arrived,
Aye.
stir the pot.
I seen that, yeah.
And he obviously then just ripped that off our socials,
Right, okay.
put it on his own. So
Right,
it's, probably
right, okay.
it's probably the most interaction he's got on social media in a long time.
Aye.
It's funny. It's funny what people, especially Stephen Nolan, nothing better do, goes after people, just
Mind their
shop
business, like,
owners,
and they're fucking
just the
their own place.
little guy.
Well, he's got a lot of skeletons in his closet as well,
Oh, aye.
Stephen. But we'll not get into those because he has super injunctions and stuff. So we'll obviously not talk about those.
Allegedly.
But allegedly, speaking,
Allegedly.
moving on swiftly and whatnot.
So yeah,
he won't be moving on fucking swiftly.
Press a button.
I don't have any.
Ah, fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake.
How about we talk about your shop then? You were established last year.
So we opened, we done a soft opening a few days before the 12th of July, and
Okay.
we advertised opening for the 12th of July because obviously other shops in the area were closed.
Yeah.
We hit the ground running.
What made you want to do it?
So me and the missus always went out for fries.
Yeah.
And
This is shit. I could do better than this.
if you haven't guessed by now, I'm a pretty easily triggered person. So like a lot of things annoyed me about different places that we went for fries. So I was like, I'm just going to do this and do it right. Like, why do people skimp on sauces? Like, why do you cook everything beautifully and then hand me like daddy's ketchup? Just give me Heinz. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
know what you mean.
So I was like, I'm going to do this and do this better. We were lucky enough to be able to get a sample box from Kirk's Bakery, and their Belfast Baps were unbelievable.
Where's that?
So they're based on they've a couple of different shops throughout Belfast, but their production factory is based in the Shankill.
Right.
But their Belfast Baps are unbelievable.
Do you know the original Belfast Baps? Apparently they were made
Armagh.
to...
Bernie.
I'm not too sure. I'd heard that they were made to be able to break in half because they were so big, and you could have half for breakfast and half for lunch. That's what I heard. Anyway.
Jeez.
I believe the original story was it was like a mismatch at the door, something was going out of date, and this guy Barney or whoever invented the Belfast Bap made something with it which turned out to be the Belfast Bap, and it was absolutely amazing. The hard shell and the soft centre, it's like the perfect casing for anything.
It's a
really.
great look.
Burgers coming soon.
Getting hungry. Oh, the burgers.
Burgers,
We'll
holy
talk
shit.
about, are you still doing that then?
The burgers are coming within the next few weeks.
yes, man. Nice.
We're launching the jelly belly fry next week. And,
Shout out, Stephen.
Shout out to a certain chap. And in the following couple of weeks, we will be opening in the evening times, Wednesday through Sunday, 5 to probably 10 or 11 p.m.
Just
doing
for the burgers then?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Nice.
Fuck me, you're going to be flat out, like.
Well, here, we love work rate.
what about the burgers? What size are they? I suppose there's some size.
Are they going to be Belfast breakfast baps again, sort of thing? Like a Belfast Bap burger?
It will be exclusively in a
sounds really
Belfast
good.
Bap.
Oh, right, okay, that's cool.
And there will be no alternatives. We're not doing a chicken burger either because Richie's have that sewn up best chippy in Belfast.
Oh,
Their
right.
chicken burger's phenomenal. So
Right.
Where are they?
why try and compete with, when it's already sewn up?
Yeah.
So we're getting our burgers from local butchers down the road, Coopers. doing it inside the Belfast Bap. We have a couple of signature burgers that we're going to be doing, and then like a build your own type option.
Fuck yeah.
Lovely. We'll have to try out now.
Yeah, we'll be up for that.
They be cheeky not to get the $4 down for a burger or two. Like.
Yeah, fuck's sake, we'd be livid.
Aye, the food challenge was some going.
You looked like you were like close to death, mate. That's
Oh, it was.
He really tried.
Nearly
Like,
killed me.
he got it. He almost got it.
I need to try it again, like, because I know on a good day I could do that.
I think
I don't know
I
what
could
was
do it
wrong
too.
with me that
Shit.
day.
Has anybody? How many people have done it?
Now 5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know on a good day I
Over
could do that.
50,
I
over
could do
50
it.
I've tried it. I'm not exactly sure of the exact number, but I know it's over 50 I've tried it.
Like I think I could do it right now. You know, I think I'm in that kind of. Like if I was
Maybe
to
it's
do
a
it right
later
now, you
in
know?
the evening sort of thing. Maybe next time I do it, well, we can't because you don't open that late.
I think what you're implying there is you would need to have the munchies
No, definitely.
to
Or just
complete
not a-
this challenge. Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't think I can eat that much in the morning. Maybe in morning and evening. I don't
I
know.
think spread throughout the day it's a pretty reasonable amount of food, but in one sitting 45 minutes, it's absolutely preposterous. You know what I mean? So,
How many calories is it? Do you remember?
who the
No?
fuck's going to say that?
Too many.
It's a lot.
I tried.
You
I
can rest
give
assured
up,
there's
like-
probably less calories in the fat fucks and the mobility scooter.
I fucking made the mistake of going for the sausages first and the bacon when I should have went for the eggs and the black pudding. You know what I mean?
That's what I
Other
done.
guys told me you were fond of the
That
sausage
was
before.
that was the part.
How did you know, man?
Before you started.
Fuck's sake.
Don't even have a button.
Sorry, there was low hanging fruit.
No button to press.
It
There.
had to be
He
taken.
does love the sausage.
That deserved a button, but we don't have any.
And a close second would be
fuck's
the bacon, but he's not too fond of the bacon. Yeah.
No, well, yeah.
He doesn't like the flaps as much as the pull.
Just the back bacon, you see, you know. Just,
The back bacon.
the back
Loves a
bacon.
bit of burnt back bacon.
Burnt back bacon.
Who doesn't love a good
That
sausage
maple
first?
cured bacon. You know what I'm saying?
So you were saying sausage first.
Ah, yeah. Allegedly,
Don't do that. Is what you're saying.
No, yeah, don't do that. Just go
Well,
for the
Honestly,
hardest
from
part
seeing
first.
like
you know
the
what I mean?
most, seeing like them all taking place,
Aye.
the biggest mistake people make is not eating the bap first.
Yeah, right enough. Yeah,
You think so?
Yeah.
The bap's
The fat
killer.
first then. Yeah.
Bob kills you, like yeah.
The bap and then everything you don't like, and then
Or
eat the
using
good
a
stuff.
knife and fork.
Because I don't like black pudding, so that was really hard for me to
Yeah,
get through.
same.
I
That was really hard.
struggling. That's why
I tried to eat them.
I just don't
them
like
in the
black
egg
pudding.
first,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What is black pudding again?
Congealed
Blood,
blood, is
isn't
it?
Yeah, congealed pig blood.
It's very tasty.
I just don't like. I've never liked it.
I could never like black
White pudding. I would like to try
That's
white
not so
pudding.
bad.
But
now.
here, on the subject of
What's the
black and
difference?
white pudding, one day in the shop we asked somebody, would you like black or white pudding on your Goliath? And somebody turned around and told us, well, you can't ask that.
What?
What?
Why?
That's,
It's racist.
that's where we're at in the world. Apparently
racist?
asking if you would like black or white pudding is racist.
That's,
Oh my
that's,
good
that's,
God, like-
that's a cut above the rest.
Bear in
of
mind,
them.
I've asked this to many black people who have eaten in here.
See, that's when people start to get retarded.
That's insane. That's actually mental
yeah,
health.
no, that person was just straight up insane. Like,
it
you know what I
happened.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's-
fucking Christ.
that's where that's where it gets to.
Excuse
like, isn't
me.
it? Fuck me. Like, it's like this wall. You've painted this place black, yet you're a white man. Explain yourself.
How dare you?
Fuck,
You know that's the level you're getting to.
Cultural contrast.
Yeah, Jake, you can't do that. You need to paint this wall white.
I just want to
over
make
here.
sure that no I'm white. You know, like, what the fuck? Since when were we judged on like the
Actual colors. I mean, we're not actually white. Black men aren't actually black. You know, it's like
surely it is the content of her character, and you know, like that was the whole fucking thing that Nolan tried to do with whenever he realised that I was speaking exclusively about fatties was, oh, but there's people who have suffered trauma and who comfort eat. I was like, well, Stephen, that's true, and the whole world is suffering some form of trauma, but your reaction to that trauma defines your character.
And I feel very sorry for those people that do that. But
I don't.
And like I watch my 600-pound Life, one of my favorite shows. I fucking love it.
That doctor is amazing.
Love it. Doctor No.
Doctor No, yeah.
Doctor
What a
No.
guy.
If you don't lose £7 million in 2 minutes, you'll have to reject you. For it's just, it's just. But I love that, you know. But they're in that kind of place. But you know, you have to get out of it. You know, I've been in some really bad mental health places, and there's always a way out. There's always a way out, and you just got it. You just have to do it.
Yeah, you got to find your thing and get the
You
fuck out
can't
of it. Do you know what I
encourage
mean?
people to stay there.
I think
That's
people
definitely
get
not what we
labelled,
should do.
And then, well, not to generalize, I think in a lot of cases, people get a label attached to them.
Yeah.
And then they become that label actively, you know.
Yeah, so like-
and they believe they can't move beyond that. So if you're like, oh, you're obese, well,
Yeah.
you know, you're afraid to make that change. Like, I was a fat, useless cunt for a long time. Like, it took me.
You're looking at
4
your past
years.
self. It's like with a mask on.
I'm looking at a sexy beast there in a Santa Cruz t-shirt. I don't know what you're talking about, like, with very jiggly jigs.
Yeah.
But like, you know, nothing happens overnight. Like, it took me 4 years to see any form of like body composition change.
I mean,
Like,
even me, I'm with a personal trainer at the minute, and that's doing something, you know. And my mental health is great.
but
Yeah, my mental health is great
100%.
when I'm in that space,
Yeah.
and it can go up and down. But I don't want to remain there, and that's what I think a lot of people who they're what's the word I'm looking for the
Discipline.
no.
Well, it is discipline too. Like, you know, it's about, in my opinion, if you do something consistently over and over again, you do something you don't want to do consistently over and over and over again, you realise that everything isn't as hard as you thought it was.
I was going to say people who empathise with like really weight people.
Over wet people?
Overweight people. Yeah.
Do you not like over wet people? If they're too wet? What's wrong with that?
Well,
the wetter the better.
sometimes it's good.
to be like completely open, and coming up to 2019, I was arrested, put in jail. I'm not going to tell you what
Turn the
for.
cameras off.
You can look it up for yourselves.
No, that's fine.
I came out. I was leading up to that off my face on every drug imaginable: heroin, diazepam, Xanax, cocaine. You know, you name it. I fucking took it, and you know, I got to a point in 2020, at the start of 2020, well, end of 2019, where like nobody wanted to be around me anymore because of the way I was living my life and the choices I was making, and I was in this position where like, up until this like moment of realization, was like feeling sorry for myself, that it was everybody else's fault, not realizing like it was literally a result of continuous bad choices or lack of even making a choice, just going with the flow and like allowing yourself to drift further and further into this like abyss. And you know, the overriding thing that has changed my life is being present in the moment and understanding that like what decision that you make today can reverberate for years into your life, and that's
it's not about your past, it's about what you do now. And from now
Although
on.
that is the hardest thing a person could do, I think. You know, come
Look at themselves
to term with themselves, you know, and look at their past and feel like that isn't what's wrong. You know
it's
what I mean?
hard until you've blamed everything in society, every person in your family, every person you've ever met, and then you're like, hold on.
Oh, it's me.
There's a thing.
I'm the common denominator.
Yeah.
I'm the person that's present in all of this.
And you know
It
what?
is
That
me.
would have been easier to realise from the start, I feel, you know?
Well,
It's
I
like
think
years of
you
blaming
do
other
realise
things,
that you're in denial.
you know?
Though.
Yeah.
It's
That's
denial,
true.
and like, especially for addiction, and like this is why like I empathise with the fatties too. Like, it is an addiction also.
Yeah.
Like you want to feed that beast. Do you know what I mean? And you'll lie to yourself as many ways possible to
Definitely.
feed that beast. You'll lie to your parents. You'll fucking do whatever it takes to feed that habit. And you know, I'm saying these things that people are getting up in arms about from a place of, I have been in the gutter. Like, I'm not. I am in no position to judge. I'm just giving my opinion. And if it's really making you that butthurt, just take a wee look into my past. Like, I've been destitute. I've been a fucking imbecile. I still am an imbecile. But like, you know, life goes on.
That's what I'm
People
saying,
say
like,
stuff.
People with addictions, fat people do have an addiction.
Of course.
Drug dealers do have drug users do have an addiction. But the thing is, you're allowed to be critical of one and not the other. And when you empathise, people that empathise with fat people, don't give them the opportunity. You know, they're taking it
helping
down.
them. They're helping
them be fat. You know,
It's
they're not saying, look, it's not healthy.
But it's different if you're
You know?
taking heroin. They're like,
Here's an
fucking here, you're
example, right?
hooked, you
So,
know?
Yeah.
like body positivity bullshit.
Yeah.
Lizzo being the perfect example, but she's lost a lot of
She
weight
started to
recently,
lose a
so-
lot of weight, and
so
everyone's like losing their shit though now.
fair play to her. But like, you know, so I've seen like interviews where like
Not on that.
you'll ask a woman, you know,
Saying
would
dick.
you ever date a short man? And if you go,
Oh, yeah,
hell
I've seen
no.
this,
And it's like, and then they'll show them a picture of an obese woman, and you're like, do you think this girl's beautiful? And she's like, yeah, 10
Yeah,
out
of course,
10. And it's like,
100%.
Yeah.
like, are we living in a post-fact society? Like, does reality not exist anymore?
And here's the thing: you can find that beautiful. That's your opinion, but it's not healthy.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But it can be beautiful, but it's definitely not healthy. That's just a fact.
Like a
Yeah.
beautiful,
You know what I mean?
you know,
I don't know what
obesity
you would
is
need
not
to be
healthy.
smoking or like ingesting for it to be
Well,
beautiful.
Jake's black, so you know he likes a big, beautiful white woman, right?
Well, black or white pudding, sir.
He loves the white pudding.
Does
He
that
lo-
offend you?
I think it's white pudding. No. I think white
I'm
pudding.
not sure if I'm comfortable with you having white pudding.
White pudding.
Right enough.
You know what I
Fuck
mean?
yous.
Taking our white pudding away
Enough
from
for
us.
me.
This
You
is-
took enough for me.
I'm not sure if we're comfortable with the old
It's my
race
time to
mix.
take from you.
Like, I mean, the world has gone mad. Like, we're sitting here. What
That's
age are you
reparations
guys?
for you. Sorry.
30s and 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, like,
30s, yeah.
I haven't even hit my 30s yet, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
you know,
So you've still got a long way to go, like,
long way to
yeah,
go,
yeah.
but,
You're still
you know,
learning.
A lot to learn.
Very wise for how young you are.
Yeah.
I had a hard paper round. The Gaza Strip and Beirut. But I mean, like,
Delivered in Chernobyl, were you?
people just need to chill the fuck out.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, stop being offended by everything. And like, of course, what I posted was worded.
But you
Like-
meant it to troll. That's what you
I'm
you
a
know what I
troll,
mean?
mate.
That's what I'm saying.
And if people can't see that from like the responses,
And tactically, you done it to, you know, get free advertising, and you
well,
fucking achieved
I
it.
didn't.
Yeah.
I posted it on a Saturday evening, and I believe I may or may not have had a bottle of Buckfast.
That's nothing to do with anything.
I thought briefly,
That has got nothing to do with nothing.
before posting this may cause like some annoyance.
A
But I
few
was
people
like,
might be like, "Oh, fuck up."
I
you
said,
know.
fuck it. You know, like I am sick of like self-censorship. I'm sick of like, oh, somebody with a business shouldn't be saying this. Like, if I have a business and I want to say whatever the fuck I want to say, or don't want to work with whoever the fuck I don't want to work with, that should be my choice.
Yeah.
You know, and equally, like, it should be everyone's choice to be outraged. So I'm not sitting here going like, please don't stop hate, like, please stop hating me. Hate away.
Yeah.
You know, thank you very much. You're hating away onto my bank account currently, but like, you know, it's a free world. Like, and if that bothers you, like,
Great.
so be it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
fine.
Like we said before, that's the privilege of being in a country where you can have an opinion like that and be bothered by it and still fucking get on with your life.
Yeah, still live.
You know.
The mad thing though, the UK over the last 3 years has arrested more people and put them in prison for social media posts than Russia.
Yeah, that's
So do we
scary,
actually
like,
live
very
in a
scary.
free society anymore?
like-
It will get worse, I think. Like, you know,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
This is all entertainment. We were only joking.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But you know, it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
there is no like room for like banter anymore, really. Like, this whole country used to be just banter.
Free
Maybe
speech is not free speech
slagging
anymore.
Your ma, like,
Yeah.
slag your ma or
Great.
slag your dad, whatever. Like, it was just,
It's great.
everything
and-
was the crack.
Yeah, and
Aye,
that's,
we grew up. That's all you did. Was make
Yeah.
fun
and
of
that's
each
what I'm,
other.
that's,
That's
what,
it.
That's what, like the vast majority of everybody is still like that, but afraid to be like that online, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you go to some people's houses, you know,
Aye.
and hear actually what the fucking how they get on, like most people
Yeah.
are pretty normal.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know
that's
what I mean?
that's the beautiful thing. And I
know
just
what I mean?
wish that, like, if anything comes off this, that outside the negativity is like, maybe some more people will like actually have the balls to just say what they fucking think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if people do start getting annoyed, well, put your middle finger up at them and just get on with your life, like,
Yeah.
because life goes on, and
It does.
you can choose to be annoyed, choose to be hurt, choose to be offended, and also choose not to give a fuck.
Yeah,
So,
that is it, isn't it? Like,
So
at the end of the day, it's night, you know.
it's a fine art though, that, you know, like figuring out how to not give a fuck
It's a fine balance, you know?
enough, but not give not enough, you know. Like you can not give enough of a fuck sometimes, you know.
I think in a lot of like instances, like
How many fucks do you have?
I don't have
being
many fucks.
Reflective, like I've probably been like far too unhinged in like certain opinions where I've just said things for the sake of being controversial or whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like also like when I think upon them things, like I'm not really that sorry for them because like in the current society we live in, like people need shocked and people need shocked into having discussion.
Yep.
And the reason why we can't solve problems is because people are uncomfortable with uncomfortable fucking truths. Like fat people may have eaten themselves into that position. So until you can come to terms with that fact, how the fuck can you have an honest discussion?
And it's not that you're trying to be a fucking cunt to those people. You're just stating facts. That's all.
Yeah, just
and
being truthful.
and in a joking way. And then all this shit is
I
fucking
have no
like,
issues with fat
it's
people
silly. Like,
whatsoever. Like, I'm just literally saying you have eaten yourself to that position.
Yeah.
that's how it
understand
happens. Like,
there are fat people who have got fat through disability, which then
That's a different story.
that's a different story.
That's a different story.
But still, even there, it's calories in and calories out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can still move more.
It's it's up to yourself, really. you
It's
know.
a personal choice, and that's not being ableist or whatever. That's just being truthful.
Now, fair enough. Some people do gain weight quicker than others. There's like maybe like me.
but it's still science.
It's
still science. You're just not eating as much calories as I eat.
Well, even gender-wise, like females have it so much harder than males in the losing weight
Yeah.
category because, like, naturally they need to retain weight.
And they carry like a heavier body fat percentage and stuff, isn't it?
That's just how it is.
The way
But, like,
women are looked upon nowadays too, they need to. Well, I suppose now I'm what I'm talking about.
Ozempic's fine.
gonna say, like-
apparently, you just take Ozempic now and it's
just
fine.
get
Yeah.
this epic clean.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Just kill
the
yourself slowly.
Lizzo-
That's fine.
Ozempic.
Listen, big
This
yeah.
epic.
Keep their bone mass away. My
Fuck
God.
me, like ridiculous. Have you seen like literally some of the fucking people that have been on Ozempic now for a while, and they look like zombies, like you know.
I wonder
doing
what the
something like-
long-term effects of that will be. You know.
It's
Apparently,
you're,
it's fucking really bad.
it's
You know?
it's eating away at everything, not just
Yeah,
not
like
just your fat.
bone
Like
mass and all.
it's eating at muscle and bone density and
Nobody's
fucking,
seen it. It's fine. Nobody's seen it. I was
Fuck me,
real
they all look
fucking
like Killian
Yeah.
Murphy. don't they?
I cut to that
Fuck.
camera while you done that
Fuck.
in the future.
in the future.
Good lad, Garth.
But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing interesting in my life
Yeah.
is I have a bap shop and I said something that people didn't like.
Well, yeah, that's it. And it's
It's a
fucking-
cool thing that you can say you have a bap shop.
Yeah,
Bap
yeah,
shop
the
is
bap
just a
shop's a
really
nice
cool
thing.
sentence.
Honestly, that's pretty fucking interesting.
What do you mean?
And like in
Own a
my,
bap
bap
shop.
shop.
my youth, I had a good set of baps too.
Oh,
Bap shop
Moobs.
might be the name of this episode. Bap shop.
talking about the bad
Fucking
shop.
pretty good baps.
Some
Like
big baps.
And like,
Good bap shop.
obviously, you guys have come down, done the challenge, and done the advert and stuff, and like
The advert was fun. Like,
we, like you can tell we're just about fuckery.
yeah, exactly.
We're like
Very welcoming as well. Like, you
we're
know.
welcoming, but we like a laugh. You know, what I mean? Our business is not taking ourselves too seriously, and we take nothing else too seriously. And when people start piling on us
yeah.
and coming back at you twice as hard,
Well,
like,
we don't dumb down our sense of humor for this podcast because, you know, as four brothers growing up together, you don't, you know, this wouldn't work unless we just being ourselves and try to make each other laugh. That's all we ever wanted to do this for, you know. And our sense of humor is dark as fuck, like.
is a very rare thing these
Yeah,
days, boys.
that's it, like.
It's good to see that you are authentic. You know, like you aren't trying to like be over energetic
No.
or anything. These are just four guys.
Yeah.
Four bros.
Talking about
Rose, just
the
chill.
fucked up
Yes,
shit.
may be wearing
Talk about some
fucking
shit.
balaclavas, which I think should be made more popular in this country.
Yeah.
I think it's underused.
It's catching on.
It is.
Up the balaclavas.
It's also kneecap now.
But like, you know, just be yourselves and stop worrying about if your opinions hurt other people or if, you know, life is a very complex thing. Yeah, but we're all trying to navigate the same path. You're all trying to do our own shit. We've all got our own trauma. We've all got our own issues. So why are we piling all on one person or one thing at the same time? Like, you know, if someone says something, so fucking what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless
Especially if it's
the
in humour, like.
statement is like, oh, I want to eradicate this race of people. Like,
Aye.
them have a problem. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
then we have
You know, when it's
Well,
joking
what race
about.
of people?
or
Firstly,
shouting fire in a theatre or something. You know what I mean? But like, it is what it is.
exactly. And like none of us are getting out of here alive. You know, we're all fucking in this together. So fuck it. We're all gonna fucking piss each other off.
Yeah.
We're all gonna fucking get on each other's nerves. You know, but at the end of the day, fuck it.
You have
Have a
to
laugh.
make the best of what you have, guys.
Have a laugh.
That's it.
Like,
Yep.
I spent at least 3 decades, near giving my age away, at least 2 decades of my life, you know, believing that the world was against me due to like certain things in my childhood and poor me. And guess what? You know, an attitude change and a few decisions later,
Exactly.
life's a whole lot better.
Yep.
It's down to you guys. It's personal.
And you can't have the good without that. There's no contrast in your life if you can't have the bad.
There's literally no
You
point
wouldn't
being happy
appreciate it.
all the
Get
time.
through
You
the bad.
wouldn't appreciate it
At all. Like.
And I think that's like, you know, if you're born into like a rich family, for example, like nepotism, like you've never felt any struggle or whatever. So like, I feel sorry for those people too, because
Yeah.
they have never really fully experienced the full spectrum of life. It's just always been
They've never
I
really
want, they
lived.
get. You know what I mean? Like the struggle. I love the struggle. Like
Yeah. It
I'd make
builds
it.
character, like, you know.
that's the thing I love about the gym. Like, see, going into the gym and putting yourself through the most insane like sessions where like you're questioning your own mental health. It's, but you come out the
Keeps
other
you sane,
side,
like, yeah, keeps you sane, like.
Yeah.
Ironically, it actually helps your mental health. you know,
Fucking right, it does, like.
it's a beautiful thing. And like when people come to you and go like, I'm depressed or I'm whatever, and you know that they lie in bed to 12 o'clock, they don't work, they eat snacks, you know.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's my life.
The guy with the butterfly.
He lies
Stay
in
home.
bed the fucking 6
Talking
o'clock.
about
Fucking just
second one in
explained
from
my
the
life.
left here, you know, and you know if you're doing nothing to help yourself, don't expect fucking sympathy.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
I agree.
Sorry, like
I agree on that one, like.
I don't really have a lot more else to say, guys.
Martin, you felt like he was talking directly to you.
His soul, Martin's soul.
Martin, to be honest, this was directed at you. Like, you need to stop staying up to 2 o'clock and get yourself
Fucking
three
6. Fuck's sake.
So what's the future of Breakfast Baps?
Aye.
Belfast Breakfast Baps is the future of Belfast Baps.
Okay. That was a good answer.
That was a good
That was
answer.
a good answer. That was a good. I like that
I am the
answer.
Michael O'Leary of Belfast Breakfast Baps.
Seamus Heaney.
But the future is we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're open 365 days a year from 5:30 a.m. to keep the quality high and keep releasing new things. Like the burgers are coming in the next few weeks, but we like to keep things simple and keep the quality high.
Yeah.
So
And like I've said, man, I've eaten here. It's fucking lovely, and we'll be back. And I think anybody out there listening, come down and get some fucking baps. They're good shit.
Well, then get some
anybody
burgers
listening,
too.
Baps.
anybody
Coming for
listening, you know, no matter your opinion, you know, the people in this shop are great people.
Yeah.
And they've been nothing but kind to us. So, you know.
Fucking everybody wise up a wee bit.
and I would
It's all gonna crack.
encourage
It's all gonna crack,
everybody
boys.
to just get your pops out.
Get your Baps
Get
out.
your baps out. Can you get your
Get out
baps
there
out
and go
in
for a
Belfast
jog.
Breakfast Baps?
If you want to get your bops out in Belfast Breakfast Bops, as long as there's no children present, you get your bops out.
Another good answer. Another
And
very good answer.
maybe even a free Bap. Maybe would you do that?
No, I'm not encouraging it at all.
I was going to do it.
Get a bap. Get a bap. If you get your baps out.
I am all about the freedom, but I will not encourage public nudity
No. Okay.
unless it's my pepperonis on display.
We don't want another court case.
No, we certainly don't.
No.
Mark, it was amazing to have you
Well,
on.
Thank you very much,
for
guys.
having
Really
us, man.
appreciate it.
It was really
Very,
good having you.
I don't know if we'll have a career after this one, but
But
we
here,
don't
folks-
have one anyway.
Stay tuned till the wheels fall off, baby.
Thank you, mate.
To leave the fucking cocksucking cheese where it is.
This magic moment